Welcome back to VitalRest, where we break down the science of sleep and stress so you can actually do something about it. If you watched our last video on why you wake up at 3 a.m., you already know cortisol plays a big role. Today we're going deeper. We're covering what cortisol actually is, what it does to your body when it stays too high, and 5 science-backed ways to bring it back down so you can finally get the sleep your body is desperate for. Let's get into it. Cortisol is a steroid hormone produced by your adrenal glands, 2 small glands that sit on top of your kidneys. It's often called the stress hormone, but that label doesn't do it justice because cortisol does a lot more than just make you feel stressed. In the right amounts, cortisol is actually essential. It regulates your metabolism, it controls inflammation, it manages your blood sugar, and it plays a critical role in your sleep-wake cycle, rising naturally in the morning to wake you up and dropping at night to let you fall asleep. The problem starts when cortisol stops following that natural rhythm. And in today's world, with constant notifications, financial pressure, poor sleep habits, and processed food, most people's cortisol is elevated far more than it should be, far more often than it should be. And when that happens, your sleep pays the price. Here's what happens in your body when cortisol stays too high. First, it blocks melatonin. Melatonin is the hormone that signals to your brain that it's time to sleep. Cortisol and melatonin are natural opposites. When one is high, the other is suppressed. So if your cortisol is still elevated at bedtime, your body simply cannot produce enough melatonin to make you feel sleepy. You lie there wide awake, exhausted but wired. Second, high cortisol keeps your nervous system in fight or flight mode. Your heart rate stays slightly elevated, your muscles stay slightly tense. Your brain stays alert, scanning for threats. Even when you're lying in a dark, quiet room with nothing to worry about, your body doesn't know the difference between a real threat and a stressful email from your boss. To your nervous system, stress is stress. Third, cortisol disrupts your deep sleep. Even if you manage to fall asleep, high cortisol reduces the amount of time you spend in slow-wave deep sleep, the most restorative phase of your sleep cycle. This is why you can sleep for 8 hours and still wake up feeling exhausted. You're sleeping, but not recovering. Before we get into the fixes, let's talk about how to know if high cortisol is actually your problem. The most common signs include difficulty falling asleep even when you're exhausted, waking up between 2 and 4 a.m. with a racing mind, feeling tired all day but suddenly alert at night, increased belly fat especially around the midsection, constant low-level anxiety for no clear reason, poor memory and brain fog, and craving sugar or salty snacks regularly. If 3 or more of those sound like you, there is a very high chance that elevated cortisol is at the root of your sleep struggles. Now for the part you've been waiting for. Here are 5 science-backed ways to bring your cortisol down and take your sleep back. Number 1. Get morning sunlight within 30 minutes of waking up. This is one of the most powerful and most underused sleep tools available to you, and it's completely free. When natural light hits your eyes in the morning, it sets your cortisol rhythm for the entire day. A healthy cortisol spike in the morning means a healthy drop at night. Aim for 5 to 10 minutes of outdoor light within the first 30 minutes of waking. No sunglasses. Even on a cloudy day, outdoor light is 10 times brighter than indoor lighting. Number 2. Try deep breathing or box breathing before bed. When you breathe slowly and deeply, you activate your parasympathetic nervous system, also known as your rest and digest system. This is the opposite of fight or flight. Box breathing works like this. Inhale for 4 counts, hold for 4 counts, exhale for 4 counts, hold for 4 counts. Repeat for 5 minutes. Studies show this technique can lower cortisol levels measurably within a single session. Number 3. Cut caffeine after 12 p.m. Caffeine stimulates cortisol production. Most people know caffeine keeps them awake, but they don't realize it does so partly by raising cortisol. Caffeine also has a half-life of 5 to 7 hours, meaning if you drink coffee at 3 p.m., half of that caffeine is still in your system at 9 p.m. Cutting caffeine after midday is one of the simplest and most impactful changes you can make for both your cortisol levels and your sleep quality. Number 4. Exercise. But time it right. Regular exercise is one of the best long-term tools for regulating cortisol. It makes your body more efficient at clearing cortisol after stressful events. However, intense exercise temporarily spikes cortisol, so timing matters. Aim to finish intense workouts at least 4 hours before bedtime. Morning or early afternoon exercise is ideal. A gentle evening walk, on the other hand, actually helps lower cortisol and prepare your body for sleep. Number 5. Reduce screen time 60 minutes before bed. This one is about more than just blue light. Scrolling through your phone keeps your brain in a constant state of alertness and low-level stimulation. Exactly the opposite of what you need for cortisol to drop. News, social media, and even entertaining videos trigger small stress responses that keep cortisol elevated. Try replacing that last hour with reading, light stretching, or simply sitting quietly. Your cortisol and your sleep will thank you. So let's bring it all together. Cortisol is not the enemy, but when it stops following its natural rhythm, it blocks melatonin, keeps your nervous system on high alert, and steals your deep sleep. The good news is that every single thing we covered today is within your control. Start with just 1, morning sunlight or cutting caffeine afternoon. Small consistent changes to your cortisol rhythm will produce results you can feel within a week. If this video helped you, please hit the like button and share it with someone who needs better sleep. And subscribe to VitalRest if you haven't already. We post new sleep and wellness science every week. In our next video, we're covering the one supplement that sleep scientists say is the most efficient in modern adults, and how it directly impacts your ability to fall and stay asleep. You don't want to miss that one. See you there.